Let's go.
Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
Peace. This is The Enemy's Public, and I am Bro.Nasir. I hope everyone is enjoying this evening, a very beautiful evening, I may add. This evening, I want to discuss inside the industry. Peace to my brother Maybach. Always good seeing you, brother. Thanks for tapping in. If you like, you can join me in this discussion of inside the industry, the casting couch. Entertainment is an industry of many genres: dancing, singing, rapping, music composition, producing, and even athletes, sports, actors, and actresses. I've heard singers, rappers, and musicians, actors, and actresses whose talent is so natural and polished. It's as if they worked on their craft their whole lives. Now, I've seen athletes who perform like they were born to do it. The same with some of the actors and actresses I've seen on stage in movies and on television. I've seen comedians who has the ability with quick wit to have you laughing to tears. I've seen this. All of these genres of entertainment are sort of intertwined and under the same umbrella, because no matter what genre of entertainment you come under, most of them end up doing other genres of entertainment. Rappers and singers doing movies and TV shows, and athletes doing commercials. Yet with all this talent, all these capabilities, it's not enough for the executive producers, the label owners, the movie producers, the sports team owners, and others in charge of all entertainment. The very talent people are blessed us with their gifts, it's not enough for some of them. To the point that those who attempt to make us happy with laughter are some of the most unhappy people. Men and women with such beautiful voices live a very dark, unhappy life. Their comfort zone is the stage. They look very happy at award shows, red carpet events, industry parties. When the cameras start and it starts rolling, it's like action. But they don't tell us what most of these performers had to do to get to where they're at, or to achieve the success as a singer, an actress, a rapper, or even a record producer, or a label owner. To get to a certain status, they had to sit on what they call the casting couch. I'm not going to say that all of them did some strange fucking change. Most case scenario, a lot of change. It is obvious that a lot of them have. To get to a certain status financially, some of them sit on what they call the casting couch, where people compromise their integrity, their humility, their sexuality, and their very souls to be rich and famous. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole and have a video presentation so we can hear it from them. So many people of many different genres have testimony on what happened to them trying to display their talent. Peace to my brother, Big Dog Philly OJ. Thanks for tapping in. Trying to display their talent. They're going through so much. A lot of people have. A lot of these brothers and sisters, and not just brothers and sisters, entertainers all together went through a whole lot just to display their talents. Now, I have videos that support what I'm saying. Some just refuse to acquiesce and capitulate to what's in this industry. Salute to Brown Liquor No Ice, the original small hat chief. Thanks for tapping in, brother. I appreciate it. Now, we're going to start off with two brothers who I respect as actors, who have put a lot of these sellouts on notice. These two brothers I respect. And I respect the directors who's setting off the video. I respect Spike Lee. And I respect the brother Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson. I respect these brothers. We're going to start off with them.
Breaking records, but we could do better because each artist should be allowed to pursue the artistic endeavor. But I still think they're...
Greetings to my sister Sharice, the realist. Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate it.
a lot of stuff that's on today.
I don't know. No, man, it's just like Tyler Perry. He paints a very negative portrayal of black men. We ain't that bad. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, Tyler Perry makes it seem like we ain't
We put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I wonder if Tyler Perry is like, he's on a crusade to make black men look as bad as possible so women don't want us no more, so he can have all the men in. So
if you've watched a bunch of Tyler Perry movies, you might have noticed something. There aren't really any A-list black male actors or A-list actors in general showing up in his films. And that's surprising when one of Hollywood's top black producers with a huge budget, literally billions of dollars. So why is that?
Pardon the technical difficulties. This video is giving me problems.
Now, Tyler Perry's got an incredible personal story. He went from being homeless to becoming a multimillionaire who owns a jet in one of the largest movie studios in the country. Honestly, Perry's journey could probably be his best movie yet, but instead of seeing that inspiring story, we keep getting hit with the same old formula. Perry in a wig and dress playing Medea or another character with a similar vibe. It's no wonder that big-name director...
Yeah, you know, he's very comfortable in the dress and in the wig and high pitching his voice. He's very comfortable with that. And if he's not doing that, he will make sure there's some buffoonery and some far-fetched nonsense in his movie. A lot of the things he do and he show us as far-fetched.
like Spike Lee have been vocal about their criticism.
The man has a huge audience, and Tyler's very smart. You know what he's done. He started out, with these plays, and Church buses would pull up, bought his own jet. You know, you can buy a jet, you got money. But at the same time, for me, just imagery is troubling.
And it's worth mentioning that Spike Lee is super tight with A-listers like Wesley Snipes, Denzel Washington, and Samuel L. Jackson. So his words carry a lot of weight in the industry.
Hello, I'm Wesley Snipes. I want to talk about my friend Spike Lee.
It's pretty well known that Spike Lee and Tyler Perry haven't always been on the best of terms. Despite both being influential voices in black cinema, they've had their fair share of disagreements. While both of them have made significant contributions to showcasing black culture on screen, they've taken very different paths to do so. The tension between them really started to get public attention around 2009, when Spike Lee, who's never been one to hold back his opinions, criticized Perry's films and TV shows. He called them out for what he saw as coonery and buffoonery, essentially saying that Perry's work was reinforcing negative stereotypes about the black community.
It's coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records.
It's crazy how that matriarch in our family, you know, I had a Madea on two sides of my family. We used to call my grandmother Madea on both sides of my family. So that's a real character in most of our families. I don't understand why he couldn't find a sister who's funny to play that part of Madea. He took that part. Of course, we know he started with the plays, but a lot of the men characters, like the old guy, he's funny. I don't understand why he couldn't stick to that script, but he had to wear the wig. He wanted to wear the wig. I remember when he said he's going to stop doing it, he stopped doing it, and then he just picked it back up. He's very comfortable in that dress and in that wig and putting on those fake breasts.
Records, but we could do better.
Spike didn't hold back in an interview with Black Enterprise, where he compared Perry's content to the type of stereotypical depictions found on what he called the idiot box, a pretty harsh jab at TV in general.
A lot of this is on us. You know, you vote with your pocketbook, your wallet, you vote with your time sitting in front of the idiot box.
Sure, he acknowledged that Perry is smart and knows how to draw in an audience. And let's be real, Perry does have a massive fan base, and he's no slouch when it comes to creating content that people love. But Spike wasn't too happy with the image Perry's movies and shows were promoting.
Once we mature more as a people, it won't be no, demand for such buffoonery. As long as we keep laughing at such buffoonery, that buffoonery is going to be produced. Once we say that's not funny, and we not allow people to determine to us what's funny and what we like, if we just simply turn it down, just like the hip hop music, if we decide that, look, we don't want to hear that no more, they will be forced to go back to real lyrics and real hip hop and real content that our people like. But as long as we accept it, they're going to keep producing it, because in reality, it was forced on us and we just capitulated. Peace to my brother, Anthony Lowe. Thanks for tapping in.
Basically accused Perry of pandering to what would get the best ratings, even if that meant playing into harmful stereotypes. And honestly, a lot of people think Spike might have a point. Tyler Perry's brand of comedy often leans on simplistic and stereotypical portrayals. And while he argues that he's creating jobs for black actors and making tons of money, critics say that's not a good enough reason to keep pushing those kinds of images. It's like saying that just because a crack dealer or a heroin dealer is making money and keeping some cash in the community, that somehow justifies the harm they're causing. Or think about big corporations that make tons.
Not only that, if once you get to the point where you are able to make that change or suffice your people with jobs, that don't mean you have to keep doing what you got to do there to get there. A lot of these artists and these actors, I don't care what genre of entertainment they're in, they did a lot to get to where they're at. Things that they're not proud of. Why keep doing that once you get to where you want to be? Myself, once somebody put me in the office and asked me how successful I want to be, propositioning me like a lot of them was propositioned, I'll be one of them brothers who will never work in Hollywood again. That'll be me, because I'm not going to say what I'll do if somebody proposition me like that. But I'll never work in Hollywood again. I'll never be cast nowhere. And that's true.
Tons of money and employ a lot of people with cheap goods. The point is, making money doesn't automatically mean what you're doing is right or good for the community.
Salute to my
Spike
brother
Lee,
D.
on the
Allen
other hand,
Warren.
has always been
Thanks for
about
tapping
creating
in.
movies that celebrate Black culture without falling into those old, tired stereotypes. Sure, his films may not always be blockbusters at the box office, but Spike's proud of the stories he tells. For him, it's all about showing love and respect to the Black community through his art. But Tyler Perry didn't just sit back and let Spike Lee's criticism slide. He fired back, and he did it hard. It all went down in 2009 when Perry was on 60 Minutes, and they asked him
My
about what
brother,
Spike
Marco
had been
Power,
saying
thanks for
about his
tapping
work.
in.
Perry didn't hold back. He let loose and said he was completely overhearing Spike Lee's name. He sounded fed up. Perry went so far as to say that Spike could go straight to hell.
Punch the hell out of you. Say something else.
That is my answer to Spike Lee. Go to hell. Go.
He wasn't in the mood for any of Spike's critiques, especially the ones about coonery and buffoonery. Perry was basically telling Spike to mind his own business and stop taking shots at him and other heavyweights like Oprah and Clint Eastwood. He flat out said, "I'm so sick of hearing about damn Spike Lee. Spike can go straight to hell. You can print that. I am sick of him talking about me. I am sick of him saying, this is a coon, this is a buffoon. He talked about Whoopi. He talked about Oprah. He talked about me. He talked about Clint Eastwood. Spike needs to shut the hell up." Even though Tyler Perry clapped back at Spike in a big way, a lot of
everything but the right thing. And this lets me know that he's scared of white people and he has to stay in this weird box.
These criticisms have been floating around for a while, and even folks within the industry are talking about it. Take Chris Rock, for example. He's pointed out a recurring pattern in Perry's movies. Rock noticed that there aren't many kind, respectful, dark-skinned boyfriends in Perry's films. To make his point, he even brought up Tupac Shakur, suggesting that Perry's movies could use a bit more diversity in their characters. He joked, Tupac might be a political leader if he was alive. But then again, Tupac might be in a Tyler Perry movie right now. So you don't know. Tupac might be the bad dark-skinned boyfriend in the Tyler Perry movie. Basically, Rock was saying that if Tupac, who was a huge figure in his day, were to appear in a Tyler Perry film, he probably wouldn't be cast as the hero. Based on how Perry tends to cast his characters, Tupac would more likely end up playing the stereotypical bad guy. Rock was just laying out his thoughts on how things seem to work in the world of Tyler Perry's movies. He even went further, adding, I would hope he's a senator, but he might be kicking Jill Scott down a flight of stairs, which is his way of saying that the roles Perry offers often don't reflect the full spectrum of Black experiences. Cultural critic Jamila Lemieux also jumped into the conversation. She wrote an open letter to Tyler Perry, which NPR published at Qadus, where she didn't hold back her feelings, saying that through his character Medea, the country has laughed at one of the most important members of the Black community, the beloved matriarch. She wrote, I just can't quite get with seeing Mother Dear played by a 6'3" man with prosthetic breasts flopping in the wind. Our mothers and grandmothers deserve much more than that. Heck, our fathers and grandfathers deserve more. Mr. Perry, you have told the Hollywood old guard to kiss your backside, and I appreciate that, brother, but many Black folks have expressed some of the very same attitudes about your work that white critics have. Lemieux's point was clear. While Perry might be sticking it to Hollywood in some ways, he's also playing into some harmful stereotypes that don't do justice to the Black community. So Chris Rock, Jamila Lemieux casting and storytelling choices might be playing into certain biases. They're questioning how this mindset could be impacting the film industry and the way Black characters are portrayed on screen. And honestly, this issue of colorism and stereotyping isn't new to Hollywood. It's something that's been around for a while. And lately, Hollywood's been under a lot of scrutiny for it. Media campaigns and hashtags have been popping up everywhere, bringing attention to some pretty shady practices. Remember Harvey Weinstein? He was one of the first major figures to drag the industry into a negative spotlight with all those allegations back in 2017. Now there's even a new documentary spilling the tea on Hollywood's darker side, exposing some of the power players who allegedly prey on aspiring actors. Fast forward to the hashtag #MeToo movement, and Hollywood has been hit with scandals left and right. Kevin Hart had to step down as the Oscars host in 2019 over some old homophobic tweets, and the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite campaign is still calling for more diversity and better recognition for people of color and marginalized communities. Hollywood's reputation has really taken a nosedive over the years. Once a place where everyone wanted to be, it's now seen as a bit of a mess. Even the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which used to be the ultimate symbol of success, has lost some of its shine. It's more like a walk of shame these days, especially with all the stars who have fallen from grace. Let's rewind for a minute to a February afternoon in 1940s America, a time when Hollywood was really the center of the entertainment universe. That's when Hattie McDaniel made history by winning an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Gone with the Wind. She was the first African American to ever win an Academy Award, and you'd think that would have been a moment of pure celebration, right? Well, not quite.
I sincerely hope I shall always be a credit to my race and to the motion picture industry. My heart is too full to tell you just how I feel.
Even though it was a groundbreaking achievement, the Oscars back then were still a segregated affair. Hattie was forced to sit at a separate table, away from the rest of the cast at the back of the room. Instead of her win being a symbol of progress, it was a reminder of the deep-rooted racial discrimination that permeated Hollywood and the country. It wasn't so much a celebration as it was a stark reminder of segregation and exclusion. Fast forward 80 years, and you'd hope things would be different, but guess what? Hollywood is still grappling with these same issues. Sure, there's a lot of talk about diversity and inclusion, but the actions haven't quite caught up. The 2020 Oscars, for example, weren't without their share of racial controversies, which at this point, viewers and insiders alike have almost come to expect. And don't even get me started on the snubs, like how Lupita Nyong'o got overlooked for her incredible performance in the 2019 film Us. That one still stings for a lot of people. Now, switching gears to Tyler Perry's corner of the entertainment world, you can't help but notice a pattern in his movies and TV shows. It's like, if you're a dark-skinned black actor, chances are you're going to be cast as the villain or some kind of negative character. Just look at Steve Harris in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. He plays Charles McCarter, a successful lawyer who's a complete nightmare of a husband. He straight up tells his wife he's leaving her for another woman and then treats her like garbage. It's a brutal portrayal, and it's not an isolated case. Case in Perry's films.
Our marriage has run its course. It's over.
What? What are you trying to say?
I'm saying it's over.
Charles!
Then there's Blair Underwood, who's been around for a long time, over 4 decades, acting in Hollywood, and a conversation with the legendary Sidney Poitier. Back in the 80s, it was super rare to see black faces on TV or in movies. And when you did, the roles were often limited and steeped in stereotypes. This lack of representation left black audiences without much to relate to on screen. Blair Underwood and Denzel Washington were pretty much the go-to black actors for leading roles back then, and they were widely praised for their work. But even with their success, Hollywood hadn't really changed much by the 90s. According to Underwood, every black actor and actress, no matter how talented or well-known, had to hustle for the same few roles. It was like a never-ending cycle of competition for the same limited opportunities. It didn't matter if you were a veteran or a newcomer. The challenges were the same across the board.
Pushback, like why they only want to see us as slaves or in the hood and Hollywood.
And it's not just Blair Underwood who experienced this. You've got other actors like Philip Van Leer, who got his chance to play a villain in one of Perry's movies as a dealer, or Ion Overman, who played a shady assistant district attorney in Medea Goes to Jail. And let's not forget Ron Rico Lee, who was cast as Chuck, an assistant district attorney, and Brian White, who played Randy, the abusive boyfriend in I Can Do Bad All by Myself. If you look closely at Perry's work, there's a clear trend. A lot of the so-called villains in his films tend to be dark-skinned and, more often than not, are portrayed as abusive towards women. This pattern has sparked quite a bit of criticism over the years. People are speaking out, saying that these portrayals are harmful and reinforce negative stereotypes. Take his show Bruh, for example. It's all about 4 black men navigating life, dealing with relationships, friendships, and careers. They're shown as close as family, always smiling and having each other's backs.
Yeah, you seem nervous. I'm a little confused. Wait. Okay.
Then there's Sistas, which takes a different angle, focusing on the lives of 4 single black women. The tagline, "Single but never solo," suggests it's about their journey through singlehood with all its ups and downs.
I don't want to be with you no more.
But here's the twist. The promotional materials for the show often feature the women individually rather than together. It's a subtle thing. It could imply that while they're single, they're still on individual journeys. The series dives deep into their dating lives, careers, friendships, and everything in between, showcasing a more complex and varied portrayal of black women than some of Perry's previous work. Tyler Perry's movies always get people talking on social media, especially on platforms like X. A lot of folks have mixed feelings about how Perry portrays black women in his films, especially when it comes to their lives. Some critics say Perry seems to focus too much on the hardships black women go through because of men, making his movies a bit repetitive and one-dimensional. But on the other hand, some people argue that Perry is just highlighting real-life issues that many black women can relate to, which makes his work resonate with a lot of viewers. And then there's the comedy style of Madea. Tyler Perry's iconic character. Madea is hilarious for sure, but some people think there's more to this than just laughs. Dave Chappelle, for instance, has a pretty strong opinion on this whole thing. Back when he was on Oprah's show, Chappelle threw out a big question. Why do we see so many black actors creating and picking female characters? When I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down. Like, why all these brothers have to wear a dress?
Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career.
Chappelle shared a personal story to illustrate his point. He talked about a time when he was shooting a movie with Martin Lawrence, and he walked into his trailer and found a dress waiting for him. At first, he thought there was a mix-up, but then he realized it was meant for a scene where his character was supposed to escape from jail by dressing up as a Chappelle was immediately like, convince him, saying it was just a funny bit and that he should go along with it. But Chappelle wasn't having it. He stood his ground saying, I don't need to wear a dress to be funny.
Comes in, I think he's the writer, he's like, Dave, listen, you got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail, so he disguises you as a and he put this dress on. Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in a discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it.
Producers all kept pushing him, but Chappelle remained firm. Eventually, they gave up and came up with a new scene that didn't involve the dress. Chappelle found it suspicious how quickly they rewrote the scene and was left wondering why they were so intent on him wearing a dress in the first place. Chappelle's stance wasn't just about the dress itself.
Do a,
it was about what he
mic check, please. I'm having terrible technical difficulties today. I don't know why, what's going on today, but can you do a mic check?
Saw as a larger trend.
Can you hear me, Epic? Peace and love, family. Peace and love, family. Can you hear me?
In the industry, where black artists were often asked to compromise in ways that seemed unnecessary or even degrading. He realized he wasn't the only one going through this. Many other black men in Hollywood had faced similar situations. For Chappelle, this was a wake-up call, making him connect the dots about the pressures black entertainers often face in the industry. Tyler Perry, however, had his own take on the whole dress debate. In an interview, Perry responded to Chappelle's comments by saying, "Look, Chappelle is one of the smartest guys I've ever seen, not just in comedy, but in deep thinking. If that's how it rolls in Hollywood, cool, but that ain't my story. Nobody told me to wear that dress but me. It's my $2 billion franchise, and it's always been my choice. I've done 19 movies since then, all by my own call. Maybe it's different for others, but for me, it's like putting on a work uniform. I'm not a guy who enjoys wearing a dress, but as an actor, it's a costume. It's like someone going to Walmart. You put on your uniform. For me, it's about putting on that uniform, going out, making people laugh, lifting them up, and giving them some encouragement. That's how I see it."
Yeah, that's not my case, right? Nobody owned that dress,
right?
But me.
That's right.
Nobody told me. It's a $2 billion franchise. Nobody told me to put it on.
That's right.
Nobody makes me put it on.
Perry's words suggest he sees
he's using nothing what we call is deceptive intelligence, making his evil fair seeming. That's what the deceptive intelligence is. He's justifying a man who's 6'5" putting on a damn dress and running around behaving like a out of control elderly black woman. Makes no sense.
He's the Madea character, and the act of wearing a dress is just another part of his job, something that allows him to entertain and inspire his audience. But there's another side to Perry's story that some people find a bit more troubling. Despite Perry being a major black entrepreneur, there are whispers that he might not be as supportive of other black creatives as he claims. Sure, he's built an empire with his own studios and has made a big deal about lifting up the black community, but some folks think it's all a bit of a facade. Take, for example, the time Tyler Perry reportedly fired a bunch of writers from his hit TV show House of Pain after they asked for union contracts. The show was a big success.
He wants to do to his own people what other people do to our people. That's a pattern. You know, they learn the business, don't want some of us to learn the business because we're going to want what we're worth once we learn the business. And they try to keep you out of that aspect of the business. And then once you learn and think and know that you're worth more than you're being paid, even if he has a $2 billion franchise and industry, he don't want to pay his own people what they're worth. And that's why his shows are garbage.
And Perry got a lucrative syndication deal, along with a spin-off called Meet the Browns. But when the writers wanted fair pay and benefits, Perry allegedly wasn't willing to play ball. He let 4 of the writers go, which stirred up a lot of drama in the industry. Terry Brown Jackson, one of the writers, told Deadline, "It was not a good look. I feel like I was slapped in the face, like we were used. We were good enough to create over 100 episodes, but now when it comes to reaping the benefits of the show being syndicated and having other spin-offs from it, he decides to let us go unless we accept a horrible offer." Kelly Griffin, the head writer for Our House of Pain, wasn't about to let it slide either. She said, "While I'd like to see something positive come out of this for us, if this fight helps future Black writers get what they deserve, that's a good thing." Perry, for his part, claimed he was writing everything himself now, but that didn't smooth things over. His union troubles didn't end there. In 2015, actor unions SAG-AFTRA and Actors Equity went after him. The company wouldn't sign union contracts. So while Perry's managed to create a profitable empire,
This is a man who claimed he's doing what he's doing. He started off doing inspirational stuff, you know, saying, trying to put God in the middle of his foolishness.
The worst. Mm-hmm.
You know, he's as sanctified as a elderly sister.
Mm-hmm. That's the worst thing
Yes,
to do.
that
So I didn't
clowns, Marco Power. Now we're going to go to Thandie Newton.
One of the most
She's gonna
powerful
speak
voices in
about
Hollywood. His
the
reputation
casting couch.
suggests
This is the other part of the stream. What they try to make our people do to achieve success in their craft is ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as how my damn internet is acting today. That
right.
ridiculous. Greetings, Copper Goddess. Thanks for tapping in.
Peace and love, Copper Goddess.
I found boarding school going. You know, on the casting couch, I was.
Every time I try to do a stream of this magnitude with this type of subject, for some reason, the internet and StreamYard gets very janky. I'm not understanding this.
And when I
was it the way you made you feel, you were made to feel, or the way you were treated?
The way I was made to feel, the way I was exploited. And there was one horrific incident where
Oh, it's acting real bad, Epic. I've been calling my brother Epic. Oh my God. I just got off work, family. Y'all
I went
forgive
back
me.
for a in the room.
Let me guess.
The director, who I'd
Somebody
seen
who's a executive producer or screenwriter compromised you for the part.
previously, and the casting director, who is a woman, and the director asked me to sit with my legs apart. The camera was to put my leg over before I started my dialogue, think about the.
Now, that's when she should have got up and walked out of there and said she don't need a part that bad. But to compromise your virtue to get a part in a movie or whatever you were auditioning for, you should have made your virtue more important than getting that part.
Man don't stand for nothing or fall for anything.
The character that I was supposed to be having the dialogue with, and how it felt to be made love to by this person. And I was thinking, this is so strange. Why would I need to do that? But this is the director. He is talking, there's the casting director.
It must be normal.
It must be normal. I'm 18 years old, and I'm thinking this is obviously something that I was in a protected, there were boundaries. And 3 years later, I was at the Cannes Film Festival, and my husband and I bumped into this rather drunk producer, a British producer, who said, who mentioned the director that I had this audition with, and he looked very sheepish and walked away. And my husband.
Can you imagine a man the size of Terry Crews had a man grab him by his genitalia right in front of his wife?
How disrespectful.
Punked him right in front of his wife, and he said he was looking at the bigger picture than a man sexually assaulting him in front of his wife. He said he's looking at the bigger picture. It wouldn't be a bigger picture because I wouldn't be working anywhere else. They would know that I did the crime that I would have committed because I would have still had my hand around that man's throat when the authorities arrived.
Right? For real, that's the big picture.
Later and said, why did you start to say something and then didn't? And it turned out that the director who went on to make the film and who I was auditioning for used to show that video late at night to interested parties at his house. A video of me touching myself with a camera up
So
my
you
nose.
abused, but at the time it didn't feel like
And
it.
that was
People you're trying to help, that's an inspiring story because you obviously done so well from it. And you were able to talk about it.
Here's the thing. What does a person do? What does I shouldn't care about getting the job. Number one, absolutely not acceptable behavior.
You have to realize it's wrong as well, don't you?
Also, as an 18-year-old girl, perhaps the older woman in the room should have put her job on the line and said, I don't condone this behavior. It's not just about, this is the thing that Stella Creasy was saying today in Parliament Square. It's not about the person that's been abused. It's not just their role to say enough. It's about the people around. How much are the people that witness, how much are they perpetrators of the crime? It's a responsibility that we all need to recognize our part in trying to be aware.
Is that the solution then, would you say? Awareness, largely?
I think awareness and having it be made a number one priority. I mean, it's really bizarre when you think that violence against women isn't a number one priority in the world. I've talked about it before as being a kind of species suicide. If you're violence towards women, abuse of women, denigration of women is all of those, all of those things are happening to humanity, to our future. And of course, there are reasons behind it. I do think often about the perpetrators of the crimes and what's going on through their minds and their bodies as they wreak awful havoc on the bodies of women. Part of this, and we need to focus on that also. But I think that, what's been really interesting about 1 Billion White
Peace and
Delhi,
love, big dog Philly OG.
thousands of men standing up and looking out for their male community. We need, it's on our watch. We need to literally be keeping, we will arrest this problem.
Now, this story should have been told to the authorities instead of being told to, someone who's just trying to get ratings on his TV show. She was 18 years old and she was auditioning for a part. She could have said no, she didn't. But the fact that he even asked her to do that was wrong. And as an 18-year-old, there should have been a parent there.
Yeah,
That's
she
what it
know
should have-
better.
That's how that
She
should have
know
happened.
better.
There should have been a
Enemies
parent there saying, hell no. My daughter don't need to be a part of your project because you're a bunch of damn perverts. Now we're going to move on to 7 casting couch horror stories.
Ooh, horror stories. It's Halloween. Let's do it.
More than 7 casting couch horror stories.
The term casting couch refers to the unethical and often illegal practice where individuals in power positions, usually in the entertainment industry, exploit aspiring actors or other professionals with the promise or implication of career advancement in exchange for sexual favors. Throughout Hollywood's history, there have been many Here are some accounts and anecdotes.
They don't want me to give this information.
I don't think he can hear me either, big dog Philly OG. I'm letting him know in the back chat. See what we can do about that. But he absolutely right. We got to get our morals together and prioritize. I spent too many years raising these kids to be 18 and they can't make a good decision. You don't know whether you being
Judy
raped.
Garland remains an Garland was thrust into the limelight.
They say some of these children have been compromised and touched by somebody right before they went out to doing this all together, expecting them to go out and perform by some wicked ass adult should have been allowed to be around anybody without the presence of a parent. I know what happens. These producers, they'll say, well, if you want your child to make it in this business, you have to trust someone, or you have to, let me handle their career, when there should have been a parent around every step of the way, watching their child as their child perform, while their child is recording their record or whatever. A parent should have been there. There's no way I would have allowed my son to go live with a Diddy. My son is from Tennessee, but I'm going to let my son go live with a grown man while he work on his project. No, I guess we're both moving to New York because you would not be around my son. It wouldn't
Right.
matter who it was. Diddy,
Right,
Jermaine
right.
Dupri,
Whoever. Mm-hmm.
it don't matter.
Right.
I would have been there with my child.
Point blank period. Nobody can babysit my kids better than me. I'm gonna take care
Wealthy
of them.
in The Wizard of Oz, her road to fame was not without its share of shadows. MGM Studios, where she signed a contract as a teenager, became a haven of success, but also a place of torment for the young actress. Louis B. Mayer, one of the most powerful figures at MGM, is alleged to have consistently abused his authority. Under the guise of praising her undeniable talent, he would touch her inappropriately, often placing his hands on her chest while complimenting her singing. Such
Watch
moments
out for
provide a
sex
stark contrast to the
degeneracy,
glittery
family.
veneer of
Sex
classic Hollywood,
degeneracy is at
revealing
an
an undercurrent
all-time high because that is one way they destroy our culture and who we are with this sex degeneracy.
Number 2, Marilyn Monroe
That's a clear
epitomized the
sign you
glamorous
fooling
Hollywood
with the
starlet,
agenda. You
but her
fooling
luminous
with
on-screen presence hid
the
personal
oppression
struggles
of
and
our
encounters
people.
with the dark side of the industry. In her candid memoirs, Monroe pulled back the curtain on Hollywood's casting couch, dubbing it its best-kept secret. Early in her career, when she was still finding her footing in the treacherous landscape of Tinseltown, they could use their
Right, Marco? The parents are pimps. They sell their children. And most all of these situations,
power
you
to
affiliated.
extract.
You know
Number
somebody.
3, Shirley Temple. The golden curls and infectious smile of Shirley Temple belied the unsavory experiences she encountered behind the scenes. At the tender age of 12, a shocking incident with an MGM producer thrust her into the murky waters of Hollywood's predatory culture. The producer allegedly exposed himself to her during what should have been a routine meeting. Her instinctual response, a burst of nervous laughter, served as a shield, although it irked the executive. The incident with
producer,
Temple
people who
highlights
she's
that age
supposed
was
to
Salute to
trust.
my brother, my comrade. Talk You Talk Media, Greedy Vegan. Thanks for tapping in, brother.
no barrier for
Greedy,
Hollywood's predators,
let
with even the
enemies
industry's
public
youngest
know he
stars
can't
being
hear
at
me.
risk.
Can y'all let him know in the chat that he can't hear me and I'm on the line
Number
with him?
4, Joan
Please.
Collins.
Thank you.
An actress of immense talent and beauty, Joan Collins's Hollywood journey was marred by an encounter that could have changed the trajectory of her career. As she once revealed, the coveted role of Cleopatra, which eventually went to Elizabeth Taylor, was dangled before her. The price? Yielding to the desires of a studio head, and rumors say the particular executive had a fondness for arranging large and grotesque orgies filled with dwarves, gay men, and the biggest actresses in Hollywood.
Orgies.
There are other sick details of
Freak
debauchery
outs.
and sexual deviance that we cannot
Freak.
mention on YouTube. Collins's
Bad.
refusal to compromise her dignity over a film role speaks volumes about her character and throws light on the manipulative games played in studio.
Exactly, brother Kyrie. Exactly. Hey, sister, Jackie Brown. If you have anything you want to add, just ask me to stop, and I'll stop it. Can you do a mic check? I didn't hear you.
Mic check. Can you hear me, brother?
Stream, but if you want to say something, just ask me to stop it, and I'll stop the video.
I'm communicating with you in the back chat because you cannot hear me. I got some notes up in the back chat. Do you see them?
Yeah, I can't hear.
Okay.
You know what? She may have to go drop down and come back up. She may have to drop down and come back up in order for me to hear her. I can't hear.
Studio boardrooms. Number 5, Tippi Hedren and the Birds cemented her status as a silver screen legend. But their professional relationship has a dark side. The director's obsession with Hedren reached alarming levels, and when she rejected him, he made her professional life has become a cautionary tale, illustrating how even cinematic geniuses. Number 6, Mickey Rooney. Casting couch did not exclusively prey upon women. A veritable powerhouse in his heyday, Rooney's memoirs provide a window into an often overlooked aspect of Hollywood's casting couch, its impact on men. He detailed an encounter where he was positioned by a male MGM executive, revealing that power dynamics, rather than gender, often drove these exploitative interactions. Number 7, Maureen O'Hara. Maureen sought after actresses of her time. However, her integrity off-screen was even more admirable. In a bold step by publicly decrying the casting couch's pervasive culture. Her allegations revealed how her steadfast refusal to partake in the seedy underbelly of Hollywood led to powerful men. In Hollywood's golden age, the casting couch's shadowy presence persisted beneath the glitz, often the price of stardom. If you've enjoyed this video, we'd be honored if you subscribe. Until next time.
Greetings, sis. Can you do a let me see, your mic is muted. Let me see. Mute your mic.
Peace and love, family. TEP, the
Peace.
enemy's
How you doing,
public.
sis?
There we go. Peace and love, family. We on point now. You is hot like I don't know what. You is talking that talk. You talking your talk
I can hear
like
you loud
talk
and clear
the
now.
talk media. You sound like Greedy Vegan
Yeah,
up
my
in here. You
comrade
is
right
hitting
there,
home
talk
runs.
media. That's, that's my brother right there, Greedy Vegan. That's my brother. You know, we talk our talk when we get together. You know that. You have anything you want to?
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you exposing this thing for what it is. TP, I'm so glad to hear from you. You're one of our strongest brothers. You not biased. You level-headed. Anybody can't understand what you're saying. You putting it right out there in layman's term. But the truth and the bottom line to this thing is we got to leave Hollywood alone. We got to leave them alone because we don't know too many of them who actually got their money by doing actual hard work. It's not true. It's not true. It's about DMX told us. He said Hollywood is the industry. That's what he called. You got to play that one. The industry. 2-minute poem by DMX. The industry is not about having a talent. It's about playing a game. Go ahead.
And you know, and the game is not a it's not a game where you win. It's a game where they win and they make a victim out of you in their game. So we, you know, to be like some of these people who are, you know, just imagine you had young brothers that inspired record mogul Diddy. People aspire to be like that, but and just imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. And they tell us every day, send your kids, you can be anything you want to be. You can be the next president. You can be the next Denzel. You can be the next this person, Puff Cone. You can be the next this. No, you can't. Not if you ain't willing to risk your morals and your values. Not unless you in love with sex degeneracy. And that's one way to peep this thing out. When you see all this sexual stuff going on, all this sexual demands and commandments, and you know, that's how you know to get back. I feel sorry for the lady that said, you know, it happened to her at 18 years old. But let me tell you something. I raised my kids all their lives to be 18 and be independent and to know to tell them, hell no, this ain't my game. I'm leaving. And I'm like, you wouldn't have to be nobody to report to. They gonna report me because I'm going to tear that mother lover up about them coming to me any kind of way, talking to me like I'm not no grown woman, disrespecting me like I'm a seed of the devil. They gonna get handled. They gonna call the cops. The report gonna be made on me.
I remember when.
Go ahead, TP.
Yes, ma'am. I remember when Eddie Griffin, he said that he went in to one of those and a Hollywood exec. How successful did he want to be in Hollywood? This is after he did Foolish and a few other movies. They asked him how successful he wanted to be, but he's
You breaking up, brother. Yeah, they want to mess with your flow. They want to mess with you because this message here is undeniable. And they can forget about it because it's up. It's up and it's up and it's up and it is stuck. We ain't going back. We ain't going back. We already see the great reveal has been revealed. We see all the demons. They can no longer put on no clothes, makeup, or money to hide who they are. We see you. We see your spirit. We see your kingdom. We know what you about. And if it ain't right, family, leave it alone. Why you want to have this money so bad? You know, these are people that got low self-esteem. These are people that can't be comfortable in their own skin. And most of the time, though, they are groomed people. These are people that's been sold out by their parents. All them people that R. Kelly's supposed to mess with and all of this, these girls surviving R. Kelly's. How about surviving y'all goddamn parents? How about that? How about surviving your parents that put you on? That brought you to the studio, that left you, that trusted him, that took his money. I don't know how these people let their kids go stay with grown men. I don't care if my son or my daughter. They ain't staying with nobody. They ain't gonna stay at nobody's house. They ain't staying under nobody's roof but mine and they own. And when they get their own, they gonna have sense enough to protect it. Because that's what I do. I go 18 years. I invest all my time and all my conversation. It drives me up the wall and I'm half-ass crazy from trying to instill the right kind of morals in my children so that I don't have to worry about them when they're adults. So that they can make decisions. So they can look at this for what they is. You know, they like these people like to they're attracted to people who need it. They like to get people who dirty, who don't got a lot of curve, don't got a lot of family, and they do what they call turn them out sometimes. But in most of the cases, these are people who what's that? What is it when you know somebody, you know somebody, you know somebody? Necrophilium. So I can't think of the word, but that's what this is about. A whole bunch of it. I want y'all to go find somebody that we can research and say that they actually made it because they had talent. See, we all got talent in our community. Every single one of us got talent. So don't try to act like talent is something new for us to have. It ain't no new discovery over here that we got talent. Each and every one of us are talented in some kind of way. Every one of us. It's not about that. It's not about that. No. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. They use that money for a trick. They are not rich. Okay? They ain't being rich. They got debt. You ever heard Dre say the first thing, Dr. Dre and Kanye? I heard both of them say first thing they do when you get this so-called money that you won't handle because you got handlers to handle it. You got people over your account is have you to buy a house that you cannot afford, or you got to invest in. See, all of that, they already got their game set up. So everything you do is going to go back to supporting the degeneracy. I don't care who you are, them or us. Everybody
Exactly.
must serve the devil. Go ahead.
What they want to make sure that money don't stay with you. That's why they suggest to us that we go buy. Just imagine, you go buy a house. It's only you. You go buy a house, cathedral, and then you got all these. The land is good because you could do something with the land. If you don't do nothing with the land, it's crazy to have a whole lot of land and not growing nothing on it. Just grass, that's crazy to me. Unless you're going to have a golf course and charge people to play. But me, I would rather grow something on that land. They plan to have that money come back to them.
And ain't that funny?
Any generational wealth.
Yeah, go ahead. Ain't that funny? They ain't interested in generational wealth, showing their children how to farm. Why come we don't see none of these rich, famous people at least buying their own city? They can't go buy their own city, buy the hospital, gas stations, and get it productive, be the boss and of the employees and everything. Why come they don't do that? Because it's not in the script. You're not allowed to do that. See, that's how we know it's a game. Nobody didn't want land to farm.
They want to make sure that they said he committed suicide. said that. I don't know. I don't believe. Okay, it's just to name a few of our brothers who have built empires, and he built an empire, but he built the empire doing the same thing to his people that others were doing to our people. Done with, whether he's found guilty of things he perpetrated, they're going to tie him into so much litigation that he'll be broke. It's going to be criminal or civil, but he will be tied in years, probably about a decade.
They killing you, brother. They are suffocating your voice. You cracking up real, real bad on my end. You in and you out, and you got a message, boy. They trying to kill it. They trying to kill it. Did you kick yourself off? Mic check. I think you kicked yourself off, TP. Yeah, but you telling it, yeah, before it's over, that he been spend all his so-called money that he's supposed to have in legal fees. But I want to even say this too. What about before we got to know all about these people that are supposed to kill themselves and all these legal fees? We actually can think of, we can think of a lot of so-called superstars who died broke. That we was just talking about that old one, or James Earl, whatever. Me, you, and Cornbread, and James Earl, you know, he died broke or something. They didn't get the money. Listen, it's not true because it don't make sense. Anything don't make sense ain't true. How that man work all these years, Morgan Freeman, all these other people, and then they don't have no money. They bankrupt. I know Morgan Freeman is still alive. He ain't passed. But I'm just saying, you know, we know a lot of them that have passed, that didn't have money, you know, especially if they stopped working for the industry. Especially if we hadn't seen them lately in the industry. A lot of times that might mean that because they didn't want to participate no more, and then they was disciplined. You know, they had to face consequences for that. I don't believe they got the money. I don't believe they got the money like that. I think that is just a persona. That's why it's so important that they get on these videos and put on all these, show you all the money, all the diamonds, all the cars, and that's all they can talk about is diamonds, cars, and money. Nobody can talk about nothing that's really stimulating, nothing for a mature audience. They can't get on there and talk about real politics. You know, make a song about some real politics, about what's really going on in the world. They have to talk about money, sex, and drugs, and looking good. That's it. I don't think they have it, y'all. I ain't confused. I know too many people who fake it to try to look like they making it, and they ain't got jack. Do you hear me? They ain't got jack. One thing we know, these people ain't they handling their own money anyway. They got handlers. Kanye said right in that chair, talking about in that car, talking about all these Hollywoods. He even dropped names. But did you see who was sitting in that next seat next to him? It was a damn pale face. You know? Who that was his cousin, his daddy, his brother? No, somebody he probably know from the industry, probably his handler, since he right there looking. Reminds me of when they was talking about back in the day, whether it was slavery real or not, but when they show all the pictures of the so-called black reverends back then on the pulpit preaching, and right directly behind him is a pale face. Who is he? Is he interested in the sermon? Is that the deacon or the bishop? No, he's the overseer, making sure that things still stick to plan. Okay, they make sure you right there to verify everything that happened. And it's just so amazing how they want to take this man P. Diddy and make him the face of now homosexuality, because now they talking about all this talk about is he gay, or if he was gay, and even if he is, it's all right. But the gay crimes, you know what I'm saying, making him the face of a homosexuality, because we know they like to trade places with us. That's not our culture, family. You can go and look up the Greeks. You can go look up the baths. Remember they orgy parties in the baths? Do you know they thought water was dangerous, but the only reason why they would get in a pool of water was to have sex, body fluids, and they swimming in it. Oh, y'all know I get vulgar, but I'm gonna hold it down a little bit. I ain't gonna go all the way there. I'm just gonna say that. Okay, look at where it's coming from. Where the source come? Where does its origins from? Where did this come from? We're not as people of orgies. We might get freaky sometime, but we don't need an orgy party. We don't have to put on like that. We don't. We actually prefer to be one-on-one with our partner. You know what I'm saying? We actually like to make love, and we know what love is. You know, it ain't really hard for us. So now, I think it's the perfect topic. I think it's time. I'm so glad all this getting to be so important right now. And we still a little bit before that election time, so we can really expose this Hollywood. I get so tired every time somebody do something. Y'all turn y'all black asses around, so-called black asses around, and get to hollering about, did he do that? He wouldn't do that. How you know? Ain't he in that place? Ain't he in the Oath Takers organization? Then trust and believe he did it. Okay, and more. But it don't mean that he wrong because he done it, or they can tell him that he wrong because he done it, because they all do it. This could all be just a humiliation ritual to promote him to something higher. Next thing you know, he running for governor. You know, no, we gonna have to talk about this. We gonna have to quit. We gonna have to quit acting like we don't know what time it is. We're going to have to quit acting like every time somebody do something, we got to figure out, is he like that? Would he do that? I can't stand weak ass people like that. The brick house done fell on you. Now you running, you still need another one to fall on you. Come on. This is Hollywood. Is he in Hollywood? Then you can best believe it. But now they gonna expose him. They didn't let Epstein get that exposure like that. They hurried up and so-called killed him off, and I don't believe that shit no more than a hill of beans. Hey, brother,
Yeah,
I tried to hold it down
decided
for
that
you.
he's
Come
going
on.
to do, you did, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. If they get any inclination that he's going to do as far as so he'll probably commit suicide. You think he's going to talk? They're not going to, like I tell people all the time, Clive Davis is not going to all them other cats that groomed Diddy and made Diddy the patsy. What he did, they know he did it because they was doing it with him. I always say they do the dirt with you to get the dirt on you. They know he did it because they was there when he was doing it. They got it on him. So
Exactly right.
The fall. Always find that. And then it can seem like they did something about it. They're still doing the same thing. They've been doing right now as we speak. They're still doing the same thing, but they're using weapons of mass distraction. They got us looking at him when it's as he is far more sinister. It's another Sean. Okay, it's another Sean Carter and Sean Combs. Both of their last names start with an S, and the last name starts with a damn C. Sean Carter and Sean Combs. Both of those Seans. Watch both hands when we're in the fight. Everything these people doing, because once people start giving their testimony, once the trials start, if we think we're disgusted now, we haven't seen or heard anything. We haven't.
Yeah,
So many
nepotism.
things
That's the
are.
word. Mm-hmm. Thank you, TC. Nepotism. That's that word I was trying to think of. That word, you know somebody get you in. But let's start research. Let's research 5 of them real fast and find out. None of them didn't come
So
from
many
no hard
things are
work.
happening around us.
They messing with your heart, brother. I can't hear you. Mic check. Okay, he know they messing with him. He done went out again so he can get himself together. They don't want to hear us. They do not want to hear this real talk. They don't like it. Maybe you saying some trigger words. Maybe we need to take Sean out. When we say Sean, maybe they pick up or something. I don't know. But they do. Marco Powell, you are absolutely right. They do a lot of number work. The Freemasonry deal a lot in symbolism, and gematria is the language. We ought to be researching that kind of stuff so we can talk when they talking, so we'll know what they saying when they talking, so we can know what to look for. I hadn't got past just the 666 on everything. I tell you, it's a lot of research out there, and still is, that show these 666 is showing up everywhere. But I know it's other numbers and stuff like that. Marco say that the 44 and 4 and 4 is big numbers. I want to read this. S equals 19th letter, C equals 3rd letter. So 193 is the 4th prime minister. African American equals 44. Notice Obama was president 44. MLK died on April 4th, aka 4/4. So yeah, it's absolutely true. These numbers are, the 33 show up, the number 8 show up a lot. I don't know what you know, Marco, about gematria. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I love to hear people that know about it get into it, because it's a lot of truth in there. We don't speak the language, and a lot of people think it ain't true, but all you got to do is study and put the stuff together. Every time they give me a report, I start dissecting whatever numbers they saying, how they say it happened, and all of this kind of thing, so you can relate. And when you in doubt, when you see these people on the screen, you in doubt of who they are and what they saying, read the room. I like that gematria, and I like to read the room. I like the symbolism. Why come nobody don't get up and talk to us on the TV that ain't wearing black or black and white? You know what I'm saying? Why they have to have this on to conversate? Jaguar done all them conversations and interviews she did on regular podcasts, and she ain't never won't no all black. She get right up there with that man, Pierce Morgan, whatever his name is, and guess what she got on? A black dress. And guess what she said she was? A sex slave. That was the first time I heard her say that. All the jump I heard her say out there. I didn't ever hear her say that she was an actual sex slave. I heard her say that cum, she woke up with cum thing in her mouth. She had Jay-Z and maybe been passed to Jay-Z through some Puff Daddy or something. But yeah, no, this is games. And you know one thing she got with to go up there on that platform was a check. They gave her a check. Okay, and we know she ready to sell out because we done heard her story. She living in cars. We see her hair cut off like a boy. You know what I'm saying? Act like a boy. And then I think she picked up a girlfriend on this podcast. She actually got a little famous out here on YouTube. You know, but don't y'all be confused. Don't be confused. When in doubt, read the room. Look for them checkerboards. Look for flannel. Look for the 666 with the hands been thrown around. Look for the hidden hand. They do the hidden hand a lot. On all their pictures, they go to the award show wearing a devil color standing on a red carpet. You ever did research on what the red carpet is and the red curtains? You ever wonder why Louis Vuitton got red bottoms? Okay. And they put their hidden hand up in their clothes and nobody don't know. They say, oh, he look good. Oh, he's dapper. Oh, no, he's devil. Okay.
Your human blood
You there, brother?
sacrifice.
Mic check. Come on
I'm
in.
here. You've been holding it down. Every time I attempt to do a stream like this happens for some reason. Every single time. It gets like this when I do a stream like this. Because I do a lot of research. And when I say something, I fact checked it. I make phone calls and I fact check it and I get the information, the pertinent information. And every time I do this type of stream, this happens. They don't want this information because I have several. I think I'm gonna have to do it in increments because they don't want me to do this for some reason.
Right? They don't.
They don't want me to do it. They keep kicking me out. But you know what, though? I appreciate you holding it down as they kicking me out every 5 minutes. And when I start, driving my point home, that's when they'll kick me out. When I start driving my point home, they'll do that.
Yeah. When you said that Sean C and Sean SC, that was a trigger. It started tripping right there too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Both of those guys, and and it gets deeper than them. And they're going to be, they're not going to allow none of these so-called moguls and entertainers to take it with them. They're not going to allow that. In the album 444, Jay-Z talked about generational wealth and buying these expensive paintings and all that stuff. You think you're taking that with you, especially you didn't come in clean, so you're not going out clean. Believe that. They got it on them. And that's how they do things. They always make someone compromise themselves so they can have the dirt on them, so they can hold it over them. So when they ask them to do something else, they got to do it. They have to do it. If they don't do it, they bring them to ruins. That's what they do. Because they got the media, the multi-ethnic destruction in America, ran by maniac Europeans, devils in action, which both of those acronyms are media. All they got to do is start with their propaganda machine. All of a sudden, you get a news, you get breaking news. Something happened, or they discovered something, or they found some newfound investigation. They found something in the investigation. That's how they do. That's how they move. That's exactly how they move. They'll find something on you that they already had, but they'll say they found it. Upon investigation, they found this out by whoever they want to go after. That's how they move. So when they ask them to do, once you do something, you're going to have to keep doing it. You're gonna have to do whatever. Like Cat Williams said, tell them no. You gotta tell them no, and you gotta mean no. You gotta stand on it. You gotta tell these people no. If you don't, he said they was letting him in. That's what he said in one of his stand-ups over 10 years ago. He said they was letting me in, but what I seen I didn't like. That's what he said. It's not glamour or glitz, and they made it even worse. It's filthy now. It's a damn cesspool. Everything about this damn country is a damn cesspool. Everything about it, entertainment. You see somebody singing with a beautiful voice, you don't know what that person went through. All the way down to a little child. Michael Jackson. Come on, what would make a man who have millions of dollars mutilate himself? What the industry did to him. He mutilated himself, among other peoples. This industry is dark, and I don't see no sun coming no time damn soon. I don't. No sun coming soon. Well, I'm gonna land this here because they're gonna kick me out again, Sister Jackie Brown. They're gonna kick me out again.
Peace and love, family.
But
Let
if
me
you
share
want
my
to close out,
shots out to the family.
you want
Brother,
to close out. You want to close out. You can close out.
huh? I'm
You
sorry,
can
brother.
close
What's
out,
that?
sis. I'm gonna land right here.
Okay, I just want to say
I
peace
said
and
you can
love to the
close
family.
out.
Okay, can you hear me?
I
I
can
just
hear
want
you.
to say peace and I just want to say peace and love to the family. Let me shout my shots out to Demonico, to Marco Power, to Big Dog Philly OG, to Copper Color, yeah, the Copper Empress, the Copper Goddess, and Talk Your Talk Media, and everybody else, Welfare K, that joined us in here. Much love to the family, okay? Peace and love to the next time.
Peace and love to all the family that came through. You know, Dominique, my brother, my physical brother, Brother Kyrie of the Enemy's Public, Marco Power. Let me scroll up. I want to thank my wife. I know she's watching. She's always watching. I want to thank her. She's the what I call the executive producer. Let me see. True Shoe, thanks for tapping in. Talk Your Talk Media, my brother, Greedy Vegan. Karma Coming, thanks for tapping in. My brother Warfare K, let me see, Copper Goddess, thanks for tapping in. Big Dog Philly OG, thank you for tapping in. Let me scroll up some more. See, right now I'm doing all these shout outs and they allow me to do it. But they were not going to allow me to speak and say anything other than give shout outs. They'll allow me to part ways with the family. They'll allow that. But they don't want me to say anything. But I pay for this. This is crazy. I pay for it. I don't even, I don't have no, I don't do the free plan. I actually pay for this. And I tell you one thing, when they asked me how it went, I got some typing to do because this was acting really janky this evening when I'm trying to give some information. Because I wanted to go into, it's a whole lot of information that I had that I wanted to present. And they're not allowing me to do it. Sharon Walker, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone for tapping in, joining me this evening. I might have to do a part 2. They're not going to stop me. They're going to have to do part 2 because I have the other information. I'm just going to start from where I left off. That's all I'm going to do. I'll just do a part 2. You know, in the next few days, I'll do a part 2. Probably Monday evening, I'll do a part 2. And I'll just start where I left off. Peace and love to the family. This is your brother Nasir, and this is The Enemy's Public. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Until next time, peace, family.